here's Bill Scott and Green Bay offensive lineman T.J. Lang.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to the fifth quarter in Little Chute after the Packers knock off the Philadelphia Eagles 27-20 in the season opener yesterday. T.J. Lang alongside, and we will have Frank Zombo coming up on the program in about 10 minutes or so from right now, and he had a nice opening day, sack. We'll talk more. We'll hear his thoughts on that.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of. That was a tough victory. I mean, guys were dropping like flies on both sides of the ball on both teams. That was a hard-fought win.
Yeah, that was a hard-nosed football game we played. There was a lot of hitting going on, and like you said, a few guys dropped out of the game, and opening day, it's you never really know what to expect. You kind of get the jitters out a little bit, but it wasn't always pretty at the whole game, but we got out of there with the win, and we're 1-0. We're tied for first place in the league with 15 other teams, so we're feeling good about ourselves.
It's all right, and that number will probably be cut down after next week too.
Yeah.
So you guys will be up at the top with lesser teams. So,
yep.
And I understand it was really intense even on your ride to and from the airport and to the hotel and to the stadium. And
oh, those fans are ruthless, man. I don't know why they call that the city of brotherly love, because there was no love coming from those fans.
It's a lie.
They were hurling eggs at the bus, and even an hour and a half after the game, they still waited around to, yell at us and throw some more eggs. So it was rough down there.
Yeah,
but
nice job with the. I take it the police was nowhere to be found. Police escort?
I guess not. They probably promote it down there, but.
Well, it looked like the Packers were really going to run away and hide in this one for a while, but the defense kind of wore down. The injuries started to take their toll, and quite frankly, the offense didn't do a very good job of controlling the ball for lengthy periods of time, and therefore the defense is always back out on the field again. They were pretty gassed later in that, especially in the fourth quarter of that football game.
Yeah, they definitely, they definitely held us in that game, and in my opinion, they probably won it for us. I think they held Philly to 3 points in the first half, and offense, we kind of started to get a rhythm going late in the first half and early in the second half, and we were able to get a pretty comfortable lead, and Philly had a chance to come back and tie the game up, but our defense did a great job in stopping them, and we were able to get out of there with the victory.
Yeah, it's with all of the injuries, and let's tell everybody basically what happened. I think it was the second play of the game is when Cullen Jenkins went down, broke his hand right then and there, so he had to leave, and they had to put the big club cast on. I'm not sure how fast it took him to return. But then Justin Harrell went down with a knee injury, and he, by the way, was put on injured reserve today, and he's out for the year with an ACL injury. So that's bad news for the Packers. They do bring Jarius Wynn back, who had been with the team during the entire training camp, so that fills the roster spot. But the Packers had only 4 defensive linemen active for the game. One goes down with a broken hand, another goes down before the other one, I think, even gets back. So there was a point in time where the Packers, who play a 3-4, thank goodness they don't play a 4-3. Yeah. But, in a 3-4 defense, they only had 2 down linemen to use at that point.
Yeah, and that's, our front 7 of our defense is, we have a lot of talent up there. And, I think when those guys went down, some other guys started to step up. I know, Clay had a huge game for us yesterday with a couple big sacks, and, he had, I think, 9 tackles. So, when you get injuries like that, you just got to look other places for guys to step up. And, I don't think we had to change our defensive scheme dramatically, but, we just looked for other guys to step up and fill for those guys and, make some plays elsewhere.
Clay, I think, ran in a phone booth and put his Superman cape on and came back flying out of there. He was unbelievable. How about B.J. Raji yesterday? He played a lot of snaps. In fact, I think they said the most snaps he's played in a game last year was like 35 or 36 snaps, and he played almost double that yesterday. So,
yeah,
he's not a small guy either. I mean, he was gassed as well.
Yeah, him and Colin, man. Those guys up front and even Ryan Pickett. Those guys are. I mean, they're a force up front. They're big guys, powerful guys. So, I go against them every day in practice, and they're the real deal. So, those guys played a great game for us yesterday, and hopefully Mike Neal can get healthy, because he's another guy up front there that can really disturb some offenses and get in the backfield. So those guys have been doing a great job for us, and they're carrying our team right now. Those guys they set the tone, they get out there, they make plays.
We'll talk more about the special teams when Frank comes on, but How about that unit's play yesterday? I mean, they have been under the microscope all preseason and really literally for the last 2 years. Things haven't gone as well as everybody would have liked. And yesterday, pretty much in all facets of that game, they were pretty rock solid.
Yeah, especially the kickoff return. I mean, I think Jordy averaged 32 yards on kickoff return, which is outstanding. And, when you're able to set up our offense in great field possession like that, when you get outside of 30, even the 40-yard line, you got a shorter field to work with. It gives you a lot more confidence going out on the field to start the drive. But, those guys have been doing a great job on special teams. And, that's been one of our main goals coming out of training camp. And, just picking the special teams unit up. And they played great yesterday. They didn't have any penalties. Obviously, a lot of big plays. So, I know they're going to want to stack good performances on top of one another. So, I don't think they're not going to back down at all, and they're going to. I'm sure they got some things to work on, and they're going to continue to improve going into next week.
In fact, the whole team only had, after leading the league in penalties a year ago, had just 2 of them yesterday. I'd like to find those 2 guys today.
Well, I mean, that was a great achievement. That's
huge.
Yeah, that was one of our main focuses coming out of the season last year into this year was the penalties. We had way too many last year, and most of them were avoidable. Just unnecessary penalties. So yesterday was definitely a step in the right direction, and that's another thing we're going to continue to improve and continue to keep going.
Is there a number that the coaches will say, like 3 or less, or?
I know on offense we would like to limit them to 2 or 3, and I think we only had 1 on offense, so we reached our goal there. But we did a great job as a whole team yesterday, offense, defense, and special teams. Not getting any penalties, and I think it showed up at the end of the game.
If anybody says you need training camp, Clay Matthews is the argument for the opposite of that. So, he was outstanding. All right, coming up later in the show, we'll have our email question of the week, sponsored by Granite Peak Ski Area in Wausau. It'll be your chance to win a ski package for 2, valued at more than $400. Just send us your question now at inthehuddleshow.com. Inthehuddleshow.com. That's where you send those questions to. And coming up in our 4th segment on the show a little bit later on, we'll read those questions. We'll pick one lucky one to be our winner today. You can also check us out on Facebook at In The Huddle Show or via Twitter at In The Huddle Show. We'll meet tonight's guest when we come back. More from the 5th quarter here in Little Chute after this on the Woodward.